Hello everyone and welcome to Sports Central. We have a great show for you today. Ken Hastings from the Dixie Youth Baseball World Series is with us today. Bill Stuart from the Florida Antique Tackle Collectors Spring Antique Show, and Geno Stopowenko from Dirty Foot Adventures. Great show everyone, so stick around for this week's edition of Sports Central. Hello everyone and welcome to our first segment of Sports Central. Hank Longo along with Neal, Duncan, and
we're becoming regulars here.
Yeah, we're becoming regulars.
I think we got rid of Mark Jackson. And
yeah, now we're having some fun doing this show. Well, hey, before we get going though, I got a special announcement. I have to give a big shout out to one of my most cherished friends that has been a dear friend since college, Claudia Moore, out there visiting from Michigan down here in beautiful Central Florida for a couple of days, and got to have dinner last night and chat, and just glad to have you watching the show. And I hope you enjoy how much fun Neal and I have. And this is what I do for a job, if you were wondering. But anyhow,
I don't even know how to follow that up. This segment brought to us by Bright House Networks, and got a great first guest, Ken Hastings from the Bartow Dixie World Series, and a great event coming in. And Ken, thanks for coming on the show with us.
Ken,
you're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Bartow World Series, I know it's been a while since we've had the event here. Tell us a little bit about it, who's playing, and where they're coming from.
Yes, it has been a while. Bartow has actually hosted 3 previous World Series, which the Dixie World Series began in 1956. Bartow got involved in Dixie in the 60s and hosted the World Series in 1970, again in 1977, and again in 1987. So it's been a long 25 years since we've had the event here in Bartow, and we're proud to bring it back to the beautiful city of Bartow and Polk County.
And we're certainly happy to partner with you guys in bringing the event in, and it's one of those events that is going to bring economic impact not only to Bartow but other municipalities in Polk County.
Absolutely. There will be a total of 22 visiting teams from 11 different states, and then the Bartow organization will have 2 teams. There are 2 different divisions. There's a 10-year-old division and a 12-year-old division. Those teams will come from the southeastern quadrant of the United States, Florida on up through Virginia, and then west to Arkansas and Texas. And there will be a champion for each division, a championship team from each division, each age division, from each state. And they'll be coming here with family and coaches, and there'll be a bunch of national Dixie youth officials that will be visiting here and staying in our hotels and eating at our restaurants and playing some good baseball.
Well, this has got to be a big event for these kids to come here and participate. How is it going to eliminate so that we get a winner in each one of these divisions?
The tournament is a double elimination format. So each team that comes will play in at least 2 games. Once you lose twice, you're out of the tournament. And the event starts on August 3rd, Friday, August 3rd, with an opening ceremonies event that's going to be held at Tigertown in Lakeland in conjunction with the Lakeland Flying Tigers baseball game.
Wow.
They are hosting that for us up there, which is a great help to us because Bartow doesn't really have a venue that would support that many people. There'll probably be about a total of, we're expecting somewhere around 2,000 to 2,500 visitors in Bartow and the surrounding communities during that week. The games will begin on Saturday, August 4th with the first round of games, and the champion will be crowned, the eventual winner of each division will be crowned on August 9th, Thursday.
Wow, so it's a long event that they're going to be here for.
That's
this
right.
thing at Tigertown has got to really be an inspiration for these kids to get to go to the ballpark, and I mean, it's such a great facility.
Absolutely. I was actually involved in a meeting with them yesterday and trying to finalize the plans for the event, and we got all that done, and we're really looking forward to having it up there. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Of course, close friends of sports marketing, Ron Myers and Zach Burek and the whole gang. And the neat thing about Tigertown is, you know, they have spring training here. So you're talking about a major league quality facility that these kids are going to get to come in and then see good baseball as well.
That's right. That's
so
right.
That's a neat thing. Tell us a little bit about, though the Dixie organization is involved in it's their World Series, it's really volunteer driven at the local level, grassroots, and of course the Bartow Board of Directors, but then it reaches out so much farther than that in putting this type of event on.
Absolutely. The Dixie National Organization is headed up by a commissioner and a president, and each state has a state director, which is responsible for the administration within each state. And then you have national directors that are from each of the states. And on down to each district within each state has a district director. And then you have the local franchised leagues who run the organization, and it's all volunteer driven.
From the top all the way down?
Yes, sir. It's top all the way down. Some of the local leagues are around in the Dixie Youth Organization. Some of them are run by cities, but quite a number of them are run by just volunteer organizations. Bartow Dixie Baseball Incorporated is the name of our local organization. It's a nonprofit entity, and nobody gets paid anything. It's all run through sponsorships and a pretty low registration fee for the players. We try to keep that low. And we're really thankful for all the local businesses which help us out, not only with this event, but there are businesses and organizations, other civic organizations that help us out each and every year. Some of them have been helping us out since the beginning. Wow. So it's very thankful for all our local sponsors.
You got to wonder what it was like, what do we say, back in 1956, somewhere around there you had the first World Series?
Right, that was in Alexandria, Louisiana, as a matter of fact,
okay.
And that was the first one. Dixie organization started in the 1950s. Didn't come to Bartow until the 1960s. I don't remember the exact year, but that was when it started, and a name that some people are probably familiar with around here, around these parts, George Pittis is the one that started, along with Lee Conley. And they ran the Dixie organization for years and built it up into the great organization it is today. And I'm thankful to be part of that organization to try to carry on that Dixie tradition in Bartow.
Yeah, it's a great organization, and it's great baseball out there too. Because I know we've had numerous teams go on to the state and the national level, coming out of the Bartow group and end up with Division I players and Major League players and things. So they do a great job down there.
And what happens with the champions? Do they go on from here after winning this, or this the grand finale?
No, that's the grand finale. This is it. The Dixie organization is very small compared to the Little League organization, which is worldwide. Dixie is it's in the southeastern quadrant of the United States, and it's mainly a small market league, if you will. You won't find Dixie organizations in very many bigger cities. It's usually your rural areas, for the most part, that have Dixie organizations.
Well, tell us a little bit. We talked about volunteerism and what it takes to put the event on, but what about actually the day-to-day operations of when it gets here? How can people get involved? How can they volunteer for the event?
Right. Well, we are in need of volunteers. You can't have too many volunteers for something like this, because you want it to go off very smoothly, particularly on game day operations. We need volunteers to work at the gate for the entry. The entry to the facility. We could use volunteers in our concession stand, volunteers for field crew maintenance, but the field maintenance between games to rake the fields and line them with chalk again in between games. Just help with people running, getting foul balls, making sure the dugouts are well stocked with water and Gatorade supplies for the kids, because it's going to be awfully hot in August. Yeah. And of course, in August in Florida, it's going to rain. So we anticipate rain delays, and we'll need help with rain delays. The ground crew is very important during rain, before and after rain delays. But there's just a myriad of opportunities. Another unique volunteer opportunity is each team that comes to Bartow is assigned what's called a host family. Mm-hmm. And that host family is a local family or someone that is their go-to person should they need some. Mm-hmm. I had a bat break. Where can I find a new bat? Right. I need a laundry facility. Just any question they have that person they can call. The team manager or the team mom of the visiting team can call that person and get help.
Well, events like this also take dollars.
Yes, they do.
Who do they need to contact to potentially sponsor the event or help you guys offset some of your costs with the in-kind trade? Yeah,
we have our fundraising chairman for the event is Nikki Yates. and she works at Citter State Bank in Bartow. Don't have her number memorized, but we also have a website. It's 2012 DixieYouthWorldSeries.com. You can go there and it'll have contact information, and there's also an interactive volunteer registration page on that website where you can go and sign up to volunteer, and I'll get an email saying you signed up, and we'll get in contact with you and get you signed up and put to work.
Yeah, and of course you can always go to centralfloridasports.com or give us a call at 551-4750, and we can put you in touch with the right people if we don't know the answer.
All right, and they can call me too. My number is 863-581-0485. Welcome to call me. I do want to mention the city of Bartow, the recreation department, and some other departments that have helped coordinate getting the fields and the facility ready for the event. They've been extremely helpful. Angie Wisnant with the Parks and Recreation Director and her crew, including Joey Williams, and also Dan Francoeur with the city's information systems department has been very helpful in getting internet access out there and putting in a phone system for the dugouts, which is required. So.
And let's tell the people about the facility that they're going to be playing at, so they know how to get there.
Sure. It's part of the Bartow Civic Center on South Floral Avenue at the south edge of Bartow. There's a four-field complex, what we call a quad, with the concession stand and whatnot in the middle of it. And you go down there, it's right across from the public library, Bartow Public Library. I believe the address is 2250 South Floral Avenue. It's down where the school board district offices are. Can't miss it.
Tickets. Local citizens want to come out, want to support it, want to see some great baseball. What are your ticket prices? Or
sure, the ticket prices are $7 per day. We haven't set the price of a 1 week pass,
Okay.
an event pass, if you will. Expect it'll be somewhere around the $25 range or somewhere around there. Of course, the volunteers will get in for free, and they'll be able to get in and watch the games as well as help out with the event. And of course, the teams and the players, they get in free too. But any spectators, that'll be the cost to get in per day.
Well, as we're running short on time again, it's August 3rd through the 9th, right here in Bartow at the Pittis Baseball Complex. 24 teams from 11 different states, and just going to be a great time of baseball, and probably baseball at its purest with this age. And it's not the T-ball.
Right.
It's not the high school yet. It's kind of in between and
formation years.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
So, anything else we need to know about the event or how people can help out, Ken?
No, just you can visit our website if you want to volunteer or just find out more about the event. There's a few of the pages that are still under construction, but the volunteer and the sponsor pages are all out there. And give us a call if you want to help out or contact us. We'd be glad to have you.
Well, great, Ken. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
And,
Thank you for having me.
This World Series event. Looking forward to another super baseball event here in Bartow.
Absolutely.
And now we're going to switch to another event, and it's the soccer event that we're going to, the Tampa Bay Rowdies at Lake Merrill. Check out this footage, and then Neal and I will be back.
Cody McGee. He is the event coordinator for FYSA. Cody, what is FYSA?
FYSA is Florida Youth Soccer Association, pretty much the organization that runs the associations or the clubs that are in the state of Florida.
That's wonderful. So what's going on here today?
Well, tonight we have the Fort Lauderdale Strikers and the Tampa Bay Rowdies that are going to be playing tonight as a preseason game. It starts at 7, so we're really excited about the event. At the beginning, we're going to have the teams walk out with some of FYSA's players. We have the U12 girls and U14 boy teams from North Lakeland Youth Soccer. So we're really excited.
with Ken. He's the media relations manager for the Strikers out of Fort Lauderdale. They're the pro soccer team. And Ken, tell me a little bit about the Strikers.
The Fort Lauderdale Strikers are a professional soccer team. We play in the North American Soccer League, which is a nationwide league. We have teams in the United States, Canada, and Puerto Rico. We just concluded an agreement with the Florida Youth Soccer Association between our team, the Strikers, and the team from Tampa Bay, the Rowdies, to support youth soccer in the state. It's a very big part of what we do as a team. We're very active in the community and depend on the support and look forward to supporting the youth clubs.
So how often do you do this particular event?
Usually we do it about once a year. The Strikers are new to the complex. I believe this is one of the first times that we've hosted the Strikers here. But the Rowdies have come here a couple of times since the park opened in 2009. So it's really good to see the pro teams of Florida come out to Auburndale and play in Polk County.
Soccer is an extremely popular sport with youth players, with kids. This great facility is a tribute to that, because there's more than 10 fields out here. The statewide tournaments always happen down here. We love the Rowdies, we love Rowdies, we love you.
Pro teams in the state. You have a group from Orlando, also from Tampa, and then Fort Lauderdale. So these players here tonight are kind of the cream of the crop for Florida players. So it's really exciting.
Team who we have a rivalry with for many years, going back to the original NASL, which our team, the Strikers, were a part of in 1977 until 1983. So we had a rivalry with them going back to those days. Tampa Bay actually was in the NASL even longer. They started, I believe, in '74. It's very exciting. Always fun to play Tampa Bay. It's a big rivalry. You have supporters groups out here from Tampa Bay, and there's some Striker likers out here, which is great to see. Made the trip. It's not a short trip, so we always love seeing Striker likers.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Sports Central, second segment. Hank Longo along with Neal, Duncan, and some great soccer stuff there with the
Tampa Bay Rowdies there at Lake Myrtle Sports Park, and kind kind of segues nicely into a major announcement we just made that Xavi Hernandez, a midfielder from the FC Barcelona, probably one of the greatest soccer players there is on the planet, probably the greatest ever from Spain, has recently just announced that he is bringing his world camp to the Lake Myrtle Sports Park, and he's never taken it out of Spain before, decided he wanted to travel abroad with the event, chose the United States, and then ultimately chose the Lake Myrtle Sports Park. So when we tell you, if you've not been out there, if we tell you that Lake Myrtle is a world-class facility, this is just an example of it, because you have one of the best soccer players on the planet has chose the location to do that. So going to be 2 camps between July 10th and 19th, 300 participants the first week, 300 more the second week, and you can go to Camp Xavi, which is XAVI.com. So and I'm not sure about the pronunciation and the spelling, but it's CampusXavi.com, and you can get more information, or you can always, as we say all the time, go to CentralFloridaSports.com. But we're very excited about that. ESPN, ESPN Deportes, ESPN.com are all on board with this event. So the exposure is going to be immense for Lake Myrtle. But we got a second segment, and we don't want to keep our guests waiting any longer, but we wanted to go ahead and get that information out there. This segment brought to us by the Terrace Hotel, Bruce Dunbar, the whole crew, great, wonderful people. But Hank, who's our next guest?
Well, Mr. Bill Stuart, and glad to have Bill on our show, and we're going to talk about the Spring Antique Tackle Show. But before we get into that with Bill, when we were building Outpost 27, one of the things that we did was we wanted to expose the visitors to all the different things that there are in the county and the neat things to see, and a little history about our county. And I had the pleasure of working with Bill, who is a world-famous antique tackle collector, and was so gracious enough to share with us some very valuable tackle that was made here in Polk County, to tell the history and the story about how tackle, was produced here in Polk County, which was very interesting. And now we have Bill on our show to tell us more about that. But great stuff that you've got there, and I'm dying for you to share with our audience what this is all about, and with the antique tackle and the people that are involved, and how long this has been going on for.
Well, it's been going on a good while. Here in Florida, our organization started 25 years ago. And we basically hold a show every 3 months, 4 months, every 4 months at the current time. We have a publication that comes out at that same length of time. We're known as the Florida Antique Tackle Collectors. And the community of tackle collectors has just grown exponentially over the last few years. Now, we're experiencing the same downs that the whole economy is right at the moment, but it's very popular. And of course, there are lots and lots of different areas of tackle. There's saltwater tackle, there's freshwater tackle, there is nets and that type of thing. There are creels, which are not a part of our fishing genre here in Florida, but still very important. There are minnow traps, which are very important. There are patches, there are all sorts of things. There was a big discussion on one of our chief means of communication is a thing on the internet called Joe's Board. And there was this big prolonged discussion on what is color collecting. And there are probably 25 or 30 different answers, and I won't go into them, but it's that broad. So there's a huge spectrum of what people can collect, and there are a lot of people collect just rods, or just reels, or just lures, or just fly rod lures. So it's a huge spectrum of what things people can collect.
Well, and you said that it's saltwater as well as freshwater, and there's plenty of have technical difficulties here, but there's plenty of fishing. In Polk County alone, 554 lakes itself. So, what is where are the locations where people are going and getting this stuff? Is it they're seeking it out from local venues, or is it's stuff that people have had and they're looking to sell? I mean, is there trade shows? Where are they getting this stuff?
All those places. All those places. Yard sales, estate sales. People who've decided that they want to downsize.
So it's kind of like treasure hunting.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly, and there are treasures to find every day.
Right.
And I'm personally convinced there are more out there for us to find than we've found so far.
Right. And so the event at the Bartow Civic Center on June 15th through the 17th it's a tackle show.
It is a tackle show.
So it's buy and trade and
right.
show off your wares type thing?
That's right. And the show is open to the public on the 16th.
Okay.
That's the only day they can come in.
Okay.
And the hours are from 9 to 4.
Mm-hmm.
And the admission fee is $3. And that's the Bartow Civic Center, and it's located on the far end of town.
Just next door to where they're going to be having the
right.
World Series.
That's exactly right.
A lot of action for the Civic Center
library
this
is
summer.
on one side
That's
of
right.
it, the Polk County School Board is on the other side of it. And
let's talk about the tackle that you brought with you today, because I find this very interesting. And like, if you can show the folks the pieces that you have with you today. We've got some up on the monitor now that we're looking at a collection of them, and we can see how many varieties of tackle there are. But this is one that Bill brought with him today. Where does that date from? How old of a tackle is that?
Oh, probably in the late 20s. This was made by a man named F.L.B. Flood in Frostproof, and it is not the oldest Florida lure, but it's probably considered the classic of all the Florida lures. It's very well known, and we just like it. If you don't like it as a fishing lure, you can love it as a piece of folk art. You know, so it can get you from two different directions.
Now, what is the intended target for that particular lure?
Bass.
Bass fishing.
Bass. It was made in frostproof, so
right.
Bass.
Well, that was my next question. Here with 554 lakes in Polk County.
He had a lake right across from his house, and he
Right.
would walk across there and fish it.
And test out the lures and see if this one's working or not.
It was basically made to doodle sock. Now, that may be a new term to you, but
Doodle sock?
Doodle socking is where you throw the lure out, and instead of being attached on the front, it's attached on either side.
Oh, okay.
And then you take your pole, and this is probably fished with a cane pole, and do a figure 8. And you can do it right up beside the grass, and you can just be very enticing with it. And so this lure was probably made for doodle socking. If you take this and put it on a regular rod and reel and cast it, it does not cast well at all. But,
but
still,
back in the day, using a cane pole, that's how you
still a great lure.
It. And how much is a lure like that worth?
This group of lures, this happens to be, I think, the smaller size of the 3 that were made, and probably this one probably runs about $400, and they probably run up to about $800 a piece, depending on the size. And there are a few colors that people get excited about.
That one right there is worth $400?
Yes.
Can I hold it?
Yes.
Security.
That's right. What about the next one?
The other lure I brought was made here in Bartow, made by Eager Bait Company. They started in 1932. There is a building out on Highway 17. It was originally their plant, and it's frog skin. It's a piece of wood that is actually covered with a frog skin. And they were the first to do that, and were very popular with doing it. Now, he made another bait that really was sort of his popularity. It was called an Eager Dillinger. It was named for John Dillinger. And it was white with black stripes, like convict stripes. And it caught on very well. But these baits also caught on very well. And so it's a frog skin bait.
Now, is this for bass as well?
Yes, absolutely.
And now I see this one has the hook on the top.
That's right.
Front.
And he's for casting. For casting, absolutely. So, and there are a lot of different types of lures, you know, for all types of. They even make lures for catching bullfrogs. Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's right.
Now, have you seen, you know, you've got the Swamp People and Gator Boys and all these shows that are coming on, and they're kind of the reality series. You know, we went through the phase of reality TV, and we still have it, but now it's kind of the nature reality TV shows. Do you see popularity in this type of collectible increasing as it gets more exposure on these nature-based shows, or not really?
I don't know if they have much impact on it, but it is getting more popular.
Okay.
And we're trying to encourage more young people to get involved in
the educational side
sure.
of it.
And we just think it's a great occupation. Keep you off the streets.
Right.
You know, it's a good place to spend your disposable income if you have any. And hopefully we'll be having more rather than less in the months ahead.
Yeah, exactly.
So
let's talk about your personal collection.
I basically specialize in Florida lures.
Okay.
I I write the books. I'm one of the principal authors on a series of books called Florida Lure Makers and Their Lures. And I'm not here really to advertise that, but we've produced 6 volumes so far. And I'm holding my hands like that because that's how long 6 volumes are.
Oh my God.
And we're working on 7 and 8. And I'm ready to get them finished. I've been working on this project for 20 years.
So you're ready to move on.
Where do you do your research to find out about the lures?
You just have to go out and kick the rocks. I'll tell you, you have to find family members and go and interview them. And you use newspapers and you use historical collections, all sorts of ways to do it. Magazines.
And
old magazines is a great way to find.
I had the privilege of being invited to Bill's house when we were putting together the outpost and coming up with the collection that he presented there, and just an enormous collection of lures. And it's, I think what you have to appreciate are they're displayed like museum pieces. You know, it's just not a tackle box with a bunch of lures in it. As you saw earlier in the broadcast, the display cases with everything. That's how these things are displayed, is like museum pieces, and it's just fascinating. And Bill, how many lures do you have in your collection?
Lots.
That means he's lost track.
I mean, yeah, there's drawers full.
There are a lot of them. We had a fire here in Bartow in 2005. And I lost over 6,000 lures in that fire.
Oh my God.
And I cried for a day, but after that it was okay. It's just lures. Nobody was hurt.
Right there, downtown Bartow.
That's right.
And then moved them over to the storage and tried to sort through them there. I remember that whole thing. It wasn't just tragic for you. It was tragic for a lot of people,
sure
and
no
your loss of part of that collection. But we do appreciate your time.
And the buildings were lost too.
Absolutely.
So once again, if folks want to get information on this,
they can go to www.fatc.net. And all that information is on that website. Or they can call me at 863-533-7358.
One more time on the website?
www.fatc, Florida Antique Tackle Collectors.net.
Perfect.
Well, Bill, thanks so much for joining us, and we appreciate all that you've done for us.
Thank you for having me, and I hope you'll both be out there.
June 16th.
June 16th,
9 to 4.
All right.
I'll look forward to both of you.
We'll be there.
We'll see if we get we'll see if we get Neal hooked on this.
That's right. That's right. Oh,
well, anyhow, moving right along. We're gonna, of course, Legoland has been big news here in Polk County, and what an impact they've had. And if you haven't been there, what a phenomenal park that it is, and it's educational, and it is so neat. And with the educational element of this, we've got a video on the first Lego League that we hope you'll enjoy, and then Neal and Hank will be back with you right after that.
To the FLL World Invitational Open Robots in Paradise 2012. What we're doing here is we have a competition for teams, 61 teams to be exact, from around the world, including 26 countries. Organization competition, and in this area we just have a few activities going on that show the other levels. This is more of the high school level with Tetrix Robotics. Over here we have an actual game mat, which you'll see in a bit that the game plays on, but what the teams are doing is they're signing this to then be awarded as a prize to one of the teams to take home with them. This is the actual game challenge with the robots. They autonomously program a robot, and they are right here, they're practicing and trying to perfect their techniques to then move into the robot arena for actual competition. Up on the stage here, we have one optional challenge that they can choose from. It's a Barn Wars challenge. And you can just take a look and there will be an award for the best display.
Everybody in middle school is so involved in sports and learning how to bounce a basketball or throw a ball, but a lot of times we've forgotten that this is what is important. Science and technology, and teaching kids that science is cool. Kids were given a challenge to be able to build the robots to specific missions out on the table, and it's all themed around food and dietary and pollution and all sorts of things that represent all the problems that we have here in the world today. They're trying to solve themed missions on the tables.
Like that. These are pneumatics. You can pump up the attachment with these pumps. It goes into the storage tank here, and you can see how much air is in the tanks using this gauge. The air is forced from the tanks into these air tanks, and then this causes it to go forward like that.
We're the Lego Chicks. We're a Girl Scout robotics team from Long Island, New York. And today we're at the Open Invitational in Davenport, Florida. And we're doing an alliance right now. This is our team, this is our alliance. They're from Dresden, Germany. They came all the way out here. They won the Germany National. So today we built a robot from September to January, and then we do regional competitions. We personally, my team, the Lego Chicks, we won the Long Island Regional Championship. We're really excited to be here and go robots!
Under our tent area, this is what we call the Pit Expo area. And teams complete a research project every year. And this year the challenge was actually called Food Factor. So they need to understand areas of sanitation, safe food delivery, safe preparation, safe storage. And they had to research an item, either come up with a solution or a prototype to actually solve that problem. This is where they're going to show you a little bit about their team, but also what they've learned in their research. Florida, as you know, just opened on October 15th of last year. We have a really great relationship with University of South Florida Polytechnic. They have actually sponsored all the second graders in Polk County to a field trip to Legoland. And with that relationship, we were able to participate with the first LEGO League World Invitational event. We are actually hosting the awards ceremony. They'll be winning possibly a pit area award called the People's Choice Award. So everyone will go around and vote for their favorite pit area, and they will win an award at the awards ceremony tomorrow at Legoland.
We are the RMS Ninjineers.
And I'm really proud of the team because we did
really good in everything. So awesome to meet so many different people from so many different countries.
It's been like amazing. It's just so much fun being here with my friends. You know, we're like a family.
And we had so much fun building the robot and working on the project together, and that's how I got to know everybody else in my school from these people.
I think we did a lot better than the first time.
All right, hey everybody, welcome back. Sports Central, third segment. We're just having fun. You have no idea the fun we have while you're watching those segments, but it's good. Hank Longo along with Neal, Duncan.
You'd think we'd pay attention, but no, not so much. This segment brought to us by the Hampton Inn Lakeside Village. Thank you to Joe Cutler for actually writing it on the sign this time, so I'd remember.
Crystal Springs over there at the Hampton, thank you so much for all your support and help. And nice place over there at the Village. Anyhow, moving right along into our third segment, Geno Stopowenko is joining us today from Dirty Foot Adventure Run. And Geno, great having you with us, and great event you've got coming up here real soon.
Thanks for having us.
I was listening to the radio show last night, and you guys were describing this event, so what we're going to do for the next 12 minutes is just let you talk about it, and we're just going to sit here because I was blown away by this. It's a 5-mile course.
It's a 5-mile
It's not a 5K.
Course. No,
it's
not
a 5-mile course.
Yes.
Tell us about it. I was in awe.
And this is a run.
This is a foot run.
Okay.
No vehicles required or allowed.
I don't drive 5 miles without being tired.
Well, you don't have to worry about the gas prices, right?
Right. So it's an obstacle course.
It is. It's a mud course.
Okay.
Can't call it just an obstacle course because all the mud runners are like, we want mud. And unfortunately, we're not getting mud right now. So we're having to make mud.
Okay.
But it's 5 miles.
Wait, 5 miles of mud?
5 miles of varied terrain with obstacles, but more so they want mud everywhere you can place mud. They want mud.
Okay.
So that's been a factor in the course to determine how we're going to bring water to it to make some mud for them.
Okay.
So instead of just creating mud, we created a watermelon crawl. So instead of crawling through mud, they're going to crawl through watermelons. The typical mud crawl is about 30 foot in length. They crawl under a barbed wire like strand, and they're on their hands and knees crawling in mud. We have that, but another obstacle we have is called the watermelon crawl. It's 120 feet long. We're going to take 500 watermelons, bust them up on the ground, and they're going to get to crawl over them while there's strands of metal wire above them. So they're going to be forced to be on the ground, crawling on their hands and knees, military style, for 120 feet. 100 feet of it's watermelons busted up. The last 20 foot is sand. So they're going to be nice and sand. They're going to be nice and sticky. They're going to have seeds drenched all over them, and they're going to go through 20 foot of sand.
And keep in mind, this is June 9th, correct?
This is June 9th.
So in June, 500 watermelons busted up. They're going to stink.
It's their signature obstacle. I
Your
guess you
new
can say.
signature obstacle,
That's right.
The Dirty Foot signature obstacle.
Yeah, we're going to
like
introduce watermelon crawl into a mud crawl. So as soon as they get up off of that, they're going to go up. We have a nice area for them to take their picture. That way they can remember what they look like. And then they run over to a high deck that's 15 foot high. They're going to jump off the deck into a pond, and they're going to swim to 120 feet. And then that's where the victory line is. So they finally, after 5 miles running through things that we're throwing at them.
They go up this 15-foot tower.
Yes.
And then they jump or dive into the pond, I hope is deep enough.
It's well deep enough.
Okay.
That's right. It's actually our normal zip line. We have a zip line at the park.
Okay.
And normally someone would get on the zip line and cruise down and then drop into the pond somewhere.
Okay.
Instead, we're forcing, because the zip line would take too long to get down to the end and bring it back.
Yeah.
You know, when you have a couple thousand people for the run, it's going to be kind of hard to sitting around and wait. So
now these type of runs are really catching on across the country. You know, I don't want to mention any competitors or anything out there.
We'll mention them.
Yeah, it's just and there's all kinds of this, and I say obstacle course for a lack of a better term, but it's running with, you know, like the watermelon pit and things like this. And what do you attribute that to? Just making running fun?
Trying to keep people healthy and in shape, and you hear a lot of them say that it distracts them. It's not so much of a run now; it's more of a, you know, let me encounter and accomplish getting over these obstacles.
Right.
And you make the obstacles really difficult. We have a wall that's inverted, and everyone's like, "Well, what do you mean by an inverted wall?" Normally, you know, we have a wall right now. It's 12 foot high, and you use a rope and you climb up the wall and you go down, kind of like what you would in a military boot camp. This wall was kind of standing like this, and they're going to go under it and then come back down it. So they're hanging upside down,
and
then they come back down. We call it the hanging 20.
And how do you climb up an inverted wall? I mean, is there things that they can hold on to
Yeah, the
grab?
wood has got handles as you're going up, so you're climbing up, kind of like a monkey, I guess.
Are you hanging as well?
You're kind of hanging, and hopefully you can keep your feet attached to the steps as you go up as well.
So you're going to be trying to get your hands and your feet, and wow.
Yes. Yep, we call it the hanging 20.
Can we send him out there and videotape that?
I thought you guys were doing the obstacle run.
I am.
Okay, you guys both have to do this. Come on.
Yeah.
It's 5 miles.
Was there an age limit?
12.
Well,
he's old enough for that.
There's a senior citizen division?
We have competitors that are 65 years old doing these runs, so I think he's going to be well qualified.
So bad.
What are the? It's 12. You have to be at least 12 years old.
You have to be at least 12 years
age.
old.
And what's the entry fee?
Currently, well, actually, we just had a price increase today, so it's $85 as of today until the event starts.
And what do the participants receive as part of their entry? Is that just the entry fee, or is there's prizes and things like that?
Part of the entry fee, they're going to receive a shirt.
Okay.
A custom shirt that we've had designed by Artistic Apparel and Signorama out of Lakeland. They're going to receive a custom medal.
Actually taking a look at one of the shirts right now.
Yeah.
More fun than you can handle.
More fun you can handle. That is our slogan at the park. We'll talk about that shortly. But they'll also receive a finisher medal. It's a custom medal. It's a foot, kind of like what we're seeing here next to the trophy. It's a big foot, and it's wrapped around a band. And then, of course, they get to receive a ton of memories for doing the run. And we do have a competition wave for the first wave. The trophy that we're actually showing today is a smaller trophy. We have an overall trophy that's 2 foot tall, and it's 2 foot wide. It's about 60 pounds.
Oh my!
Was that memories or injuries that they take away?
Memories.
Okay.
Hopefully no injuries. Although we will have a complete EMT.
You guys have got it covered.
Yeah, we have EMT staff on.
How many folks are you going to have competing in this?
Well, we have permission from Polk County to have 2,000. And we're trying to get there. To be honest with you, I haven't looked in about a month to know where we're at in standings. Okay. But I know we're trying to get to 2,000, and if not, we'll beg and plead for the next one.
Well, this is June 9th, and it starts at 8 a.m., Dirty Foot Adventures in Fort Meade. Tell us a little bit about your facility. I mean, this is one event. You guys actually do other things.
That is correct, and thank you for giving me the time to talk about that.
Okay, well, thank you, Geno. We're glad to hear about all those things. No,
Dirty Foot Adventures is currently it's a motocross park that allows ATVs and dirt bikes out on a big 1.5 mile motocross track. It's going to be a national style track. It's a true outdoor style. So it's some of the other tracks are supercross, which means it's you jump and stop, jump and jump. It's real narrow and short and no high speed. Ours is wide open, and you're
pedal
going
to the metal.
It's 42 foot wide. It's 1.5 miles long. It's got 185 sprinklers on it. It's fully groomed and maintained, and we're using that as a step to get back to having our trails open. We opened in June 2010 with as a family park for a trail system. Riding, just grab an ATV or dirt bike from yourself or your friend and go out on the trails and have some fun. We're currently not using the trails. We're getting them reopened and hope to have them probably August, September. So it'd be nice to see the families come back. We have, families of 7 and 8 just camping, seeing the stars at night, and then getting up in the morning and go out and riding. And it's just truly blessing to see, the families interacting with each other and getting out there and doing that.
Well, and it's something you can't see in Tampa, you can't see in Orlando. We're blessed here in Polk County to have that, and that's one of the things that Stream Song, as they open their new resort down there, the nature and the stargazing and that kind of stuff, you just can't do that in the big city, and it's one of the unique things we have here.
Geno, let the folks know really where you are, because you're way down in
we're in Polk County, however.
Just over the line, basically.
It's also Hardy County, I guess you could say. We're right on County Line Road. So we're in the southern part of Polk County, the northern part of I guess, Bowling Green at that point.
Right.
And it's in Fort Meade.
And it's just beautiful in that part of the state.
We've got untouched property. Mosaic hasn't been out and done any mining. We're not going to allow that. So we just have really beautiful property. And it's amazing to have the children come up and say, "Daddy, I got to see a deer today, or saw some hog, or did you see the stars last night?" You just, because they're not accustomed to seeing that in Tampa, where all the concrete,
And that's not what visitors think when they think of Florida. Beaches and palm trees, and it's a whole other story. Just like Bill was here talking about the antique tackle, because fishing's so big. So it's really a diverse portfolio of things that Florida has to offer, and this is just another one. We appreciate you doing that.
And a lot of times people don't own an ATV or a dirt bike because they just have never gotten into that market. So what we're doing once the trails are open is we're going to have a rental program. They come out, they pay a small fee, they rent the ATV or a dirt bike. It's got insurance on it, and they just go have fun for the day.
Would they say you're coming out there for the first time to do this? Do you get any instruction on how to ride the bike or the ATV, for safety reasons?
We give a safety course to make sure they can do some proper techniques prior to allowing them to go out into the trails and, possibly getting hurt. So we definitely make sure they can pass a safety course, and then we send them on their way. And what's great about this is that it's another way to capture those tourism dollars from Orlando to Tampa, right? Sure. We can bring people, we'll be the next Legoland possibly, and really market ourselves as a tourism park. And be able to allow people to, come ride and have fun and kind of like a jet ski, I guess. You can go rent a jet ski, now you can come rent an ATV and go ride. And there's a lot of people that, they say, well, I live in an apartment complex and I don't want to rent your vehicles, but I want to own one. But I don't have anywhere to store it, so I don't want to store it in a locker or any of that. Right. They can actually come to our facility and store it at our facility, kind of like a marina. They can come out and say, we're coming to get our ATV, we want to go riding today. We can have it out, we can have it maintained, we can have it fueled. They go ride it, they come back, we'll clean it for them. Whatever is required that they need for us to do, we'll do that. And we have people that don't even own a truck. And they're like, well, I want to go buy one, but I can't get it to you to even get it. We'll go pick it up for them. So we just want to make it as easy as possible for these folks to be able to get out with their families and ride and have a good time.
Well, we wish you good luck on that, and we also wish you good luck on the Dirty Foot Adventure Run, which is Saturday, June 9th, 8 a.m. Yes. Where can they sign up?
They can sign up at dirtyfootadventurerun.com under the event tab. It's off of the I'm Athlete registration site. But we also have a Facebook page, which is facebook.com, 30 Foot Adventure Run.
All right. Well, good luck with this event, Geno.
Yeah, Geno, thanks for joining us. And
we'll get Hank out there.
We have Neal out there doing that watermelon crawl for you, and then
I'll do that. If you do the inverted wall, I will do the watermelon crawl.
We also have a rope swing that's 30 foot tall. You got to swing from bank to bank and drop into the mud pit. So one of you have to do that.
Oh, that would Neal had fun with that too.
I'm all over it.
Well,
Thanks,
leading
Geno.
from the watermelon crawl, we're going to have some arts and culture for you with Jessica Roberts. So stick around and watch this, and Hank and Neal will be back with you right after this segment.
Welcome to this edition of Arts and Culture, a Polk County tradition. I'm Jessica Roberts, here to tell you about some great upcoming events taking place across Polk County this month. Grammy Award winners Jars of Clay will be in Lakeland at Polk Theater on Friday, June 8th. Doors will open at 6:30, and the concert will feature local favorite Johnny Diaz. Multiple ticket options are available, including a VIP meet and greet. Fantasy of Flight's Legends and Legacy series continues on June 8th and 9th with reflections of Vietnam. This event will feature Vietnam War heroes in a question and answer setting. Plus, you'll have the opportunity to participate in a meet and greet, autograph signing session. Legends and Legacies is included in the cost of general admission at Fantasy of Flight. In Haines City Community Theater's annual kids production, the younger talents of Haines City Community Theater will once again entertain audiences of all ages with A Pirate's Life for Me, beginning June 15th. The musical will run through June 24th. Also beginning June 15th, the Children's Theater production group of Lakeland Community Theater will present How I Became a Pirate. The show runs Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Haines City Parks and Rec will host Movies in the Park on June 15th. Bring your lawn chairs, blankets, and snacks for a family movie on the first and third Friday of each month during the summer at Lake Eva Park. Pre-event activities begin at 7 p.m. and the movie will start at dusk. Florida Antique Tackle Collectors will host their annual Spring Antique Tackle Show at the Bartow Civic Center on June 16th. Club members will bring historical displays from their collections to trade, and the public is invited to attend and encouraged to bring their own tackle for free appraisals by club members. The event begins at 9. Classic Albums Live presents Led Zeppelin II on June 21st. A special screening of the documentary Led Zeppelin: The Untold Story begins at 6:30, and the concert will begin at 8. Classic Albums Live will also present a second half highlighting Led Zeppelin's greatest hits. Well, folks, this has been a quick glance at all the exciting arts and culture events taking place around Polk County this month. For details about these events and more, go to visitcentralflorida.org. Until next time, I'm Jessica Roberts from Polk County's Tourism and Sports Marketing Office, and I look forward to seeing you at some of these great events.
Hello again. Oh, okay, we'll try that again. We don't have a take two here because this is live. But anyhow, welcome everyone. Hank and Neal, fourth segment here at Sports Central.
The whole show's been like this, but we're having fun.
We're having fun.
This segment brought to us by Travel Lodge right there at the 98-94. Great partners of tourism and sports marketing, and I want to thank them. Normally in this section, or the segment rather, we start into the local update, and if we get to it, we get to it.
If we get to some of them, but we have a more important topic that we would like to talk about.
Absolutely.
And that is somebody who is very dear to us, cherished by us, and has been great to work with ever since we started Sports Central.
Been with us from the beginning.
Right from the beginning, and that's Joan Davies.
And Joan has meant more to tourism and sports than people will actually even know, from the fact that this show allows us to get our events on, promote things that are going on in Polk County, because when we recruit events to Polk County, it's important that we have you as the citizens know about those events and attend those events if you have interest in them. And Joan has kind of been the pioneer and crafted Sports Central so that we could get that message out, and we could do those things, whether it be this show or tourism segments at the Outpost or any of those things. So we really couldn't have the success that we've had at tourism and sports marketing over the years without Sports Central and without Joan Davies. So it's with a very heavy heart that we actually do this show today, knowing that it's the last time that she's going to be on the other side of that wall, kind of making sure that we don't look like, we don't look like Neal and Hank. She makes us look good, but we're going to miss Joan very much.
And making Neal look good, I'll tell you, that's taken some real creative talent on Joan's behalf, and we want to thank Joe for that. And Joan's, we've arranged to have Al follow you with a camera for the next 3 months, just because we're going to miss you, and that way we can just keep up with all the fun things that you're doing in your life.
So be watching over your shoulder, because we're still after you.
We got the camera on.
But in all seriousness, we do want to thank Joan Davies, and Polk County is losing a very good person,
a jewel.
not only good at her job, but a good person, and we're going to miss her. So Joan, thanks for all that you have done for us.
Joan, we'll miss you, and you've been fantastic. You rock, and we want everybody to know that, because we've done some neat things with Sports Central, and being able to have the ability to go out and do events and have the crew out there filming events, just like one of my favorites of Barkley Bean Bryant and Friends, and showing what the young kids are learning in the community, and the superstars and in the sports world that come out on their dime to help these young kids in our community. And I think those are the kind of things that PG has been able to bring to the community, is events like that, and with the arts and culture that we just saw, and all the things going on, as to what we do every day to help bring money into the county.
Well, we certainly, once again, want to thank Joan and her whole crew. I know the whole staff's going to miss her, and we at Tourism and Sports are going to miss her. But if you want to check out the radio version of Sports Central, it's on WLKF 1430 every Thursday night from 5 to 6, or the short version of Sports Central on the 4 sister stations of Hall Communications from 8 to 9 a.m. On Thursday mornings, and then, of course, this show. But I want to thank some sponsors who makes this show possible: Best Western Parkview Hotel, Bright House Networks, Sunsplash Vacation Homes, Holiday Inn Winter Haven, and Peebles Barbecue. Just some of the sponsors that make this possible.
And we want to thank them, and you can always catch what's going on at www.centralfloridasports.com, or give us a holler at 863-551-4750. I want to thank you all so much for joining us. Claudia, I hope you made it through the whole show. And if you want to watch this show over again, these are the dates and times that you can check out Sports Central in the next 2 weeks. Until then, Hank Longo, Neal Duncan saying so long, and have a great time, and thanks for joining us on Sports Central.